fourth lesson, type description, put in the date that you're going to do the lesson, job number. We put the tutor's name in here so we can identify who's produced the lesson plan and market list. Attribute it to a course so we can help collate the costs in that later. And then we click on the recipe cost tab and start loading the recipes. So, niçoise salad, just double click on the ingredients to put them in. Now, to work out how much portions of each we're going to produce, we need to look into the recipe itself. And so this niçoise salad recipe produces 4 serves. So we need to work out how much we want each student to make. So if we want each student quantity, how much ingredients and produce we're looking at. So that would be, if we had 10 students making 4 serves, we'd need 3 kilos of beans, 2 kilos of potatoes, etc. If that looks right, that's what you want them to do, then that's fine. We'll just put 40 serves into the market list. However, if you only want them to make 2 serves and we have 10 students, let's look at what 20 serves makes. So in that case it'd be half the quantity, so 1500 grams of beans and 1 kilo of potatoes for the entire class. So we'll run with 2 serves for this exercise. Click OK. So 2 serves per student times the amount of students we've got. If we had 10 students, that would be 20, but if you include the tutor, it would be 22 serves. The tart, we'll have a look into that. So one tart, I imagine it's 15 to 20 centimetre tart. So each tart will use about 400 grams of sweet short paste, 400 grams of lemon curd. So the short paste and lemon curd are sub-recipes, so it might pay to go into the lemon curd and check out those quantities. So this base recipe produces 400 mils, that looks about right. So 400 mils times 10 students would be 4 litres. So that's how much ingredients we're looking at for the class. So that recipe looks okay for each student doing 1 tart. Click OK. So we've got 10 students plus the tutor, we'll call 7 tarts. Save. So at this point in time we can add any prep notes. So we could put in here 2 serves per student. We could put 15 centimetre tart, or you could put between 2 students. Any notes that you think will help with either the way up or the lesson itself. Good chance to double check your costs. So those are your costs for each serve, or tart in that case, and these are the total costs. The amount of this lesson is going to cost us $14 per student, $140 in total. This is one of the key benefits of having a resort, is we can get these accurate costings of what should be the costs. So at this point we can click on the market list and just double check these ingredients down in this column. This is what you're actually going to need on the day. The items in this column is the minimum purchase quantity for each of those ingredients. You could go through and change those, the actual ingredients you need, but there's not really a lot of point unless you want your market list to indicate the exact cost. Check the costs in case there's any blowouts, like some ingredients in the thousands of dollars, then you'll know that there's a mistake somewhere along the lines. Click Save. So I'm going to reports, I strongly recommend that you go back over it and just double check that you've got the right quantity of serves or dishes in this column, as will be ordered for you, and just double check the market list as well, that those ingredients seem about right. Any abnormality, well. Okay, so once you've done that and you've saved your market list, we can go and print off the market list in the function cover sheet. So we go to market list, I use supplier based listings, and here you can rename the function that you want. Okay. So here we have our market list. There is 2 pages of it. Again, just double check that all these ingredients look right. They're listed by supplier or category in this case. We found we had so many different suppliers that we found it easier just to have dairy, dry stores, almost like categories as opposed to suppliers, but you can change that. So just scroll down. These costs are for the purchase quantities of all those ingredients. They don't relate to the actual quantities required unless you went through and changed the purchase quantity to match the required quantity. So just check those, click through to the next page, and if all seems okay, hit the print icon up here or export it to another format. Okay, so we also want a function cover sheet, which our technicians like to use function cost breakdown. One function, it'll default to the lesson that you're on, the function you're on. So here we have the name of the function or lesson, the chef's group it's allocated to, the date of the lesson, and the tutor. We have in here our students, of which there's 10, cost per cover, total cost. Then we have our recipes listed, again with the units, quantities, and the individual costs and the total costs, and the actual lesson cost that's listed here. So again, we either print or export. For your lesson, and to attach to the market list is the recipes. So we go into print again. Recipe 3 has all the costings associated with the ingredients in the recipes. As for the rest, I suggest you just play around and have a look at what they produce, all different sort of styles. So recipes 3, one function, it'll default to the lesson. Here you do want to print the sub recipes because this is going to be the So we've got 5 recipes in this lesson. So again, last chance to double check. You can't change what the recipe produces in this line, but you can always go back and change the scaled quantity up or down. Each student is going to be making 400 millilitres. The whole class of 10 of them will be making 4 litres. This gives you a good indication of what should be on your trolley order. Flick through, because we selected the option with photos, the photo of the dish should come up. Again, you can go back in and alter the size of those photos if you think they're taking up too much room. And again, either print or export. Remember that although you can print direct from the data entry forms, you can also use these report categories here. There's probably a couple of thousand different reports you can write. Anything can be adjusted from your suppliers, functions, recipes, menus, etc. all the way along here. So I suggest you just spend some time playing around, putting in some recipes. One of the key areas where people make errors is not putting in the correct quantities of the items that they want. Remember, just go back and double check the amount of the recipe you want the students to make by the amount of students you've got. Helpful that the help file that's up here, very handy to teach you how to load all of those forms.